Hello, everyone. So, I am coming at you with a video that is it's like a general, um, motivational, let's call it video. It's helpful in everyday life. It's helpful in business. It's helpful in relationships. It's helpful if you are a career professional, you're working, you have like a manager, you work for a company. Um, everywhere you go, everywhere that you're gonna have like interpersonal relationships, particularly relationships that have different power dynamics, where someone either you want something from someone, i.e., if you have your own business, you were trying to convince someone to be your customer, or if there's just like a different power dynamic. For example, if you have a boss or a district manager or like a direct supervisor, and someone else is responsible for giving you a raise or a promotion, this advice, if you will, is going to be for you. Also, dating, it's really, yeah, it's valuable in dating relationships, even friendships. I'm going to tell you what this is, and then you look at your life and apply it wherever you see fit. So, with that said, what I'm going to be talking about is how to be the prize. And that basically just like some people will hear that and get the wrong idea and think that I mean be arrogant. Others try to manipulate people into not treating themselves like a prize because they say, well, okay, I'll tell you why they do that. Some people will try to convince you not to behave as a prize, which I like that way of saying it better than treat yourself like a prize, even though I believe you should treat yourself really well, but behave as a prize. And some people are going to try to talk you out of that and say, well, you don't bring anything to the table and you're arrogant. But you really have to evaluate that because oftentimes people will say that because they want to take you down a notch so that you feel like you need them. And so that you feel like, it's reverse psychology. They want you to think they're the prize. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. So when you behave like a prize, you teach people how to treat you. Honestly, you do that even when you don't behave like a prize. Like you are always teaching people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And that's what I'm getting at. So, let's put this in a business owner complex because I'm a business owner. A lot of you are or want to be one day. So you're going to have customers. You're going to be marketing your business, whether you like it or not. You're going to be trying to draw people to you so that they'll buy your product, so that they'll purchase your service, so that they'll invest, like all types of different things. So you don't want to come across as desperate. And the way to not do that is to believe that what you have is valuable, because hopefully you do believe that what you have is something that is of value. And hopefully it is something that is of value. And so when you believe that you have something valuable, how do you respond or how do you go out into the world? You're not really willing to give it away that quickly or that easily. And it's not even about playing games, but you protect the things that are valuable to you, and you should protect, or in a sense, you should protect yourself, your product, your service, whatever it is you're selling. And by that, I mean, and I did another video on this about types of clients you want to avoid. You don't want to subject yourself to someone who's going to treat what you have and who you are as if it's less than it's really worth, because they're going to exploit you and you're going to be exhausted and you're going to be frustrated. You might even think about quitting or going out of business because you'll be like, why is this worth it? And the truth is, it really is probably worth it, but you have just subjected yourself to the wrong type of customer, wrong type of client, because maybe you were feeling a little bit desperate, like you really need to make the money, you really need to make the sale. And in the beginning, you probably will go through that to an extent, especially if you don't have experience. You may feel inclined to lower your prices. That's kind of okay, but don't get stuck there, and definitely don't allow yourself to be abused. But know that what you have is a value. If you do lower your prices, know that it's temporary only. Don't get caught up in always discounting your services. Like, you need to get paid what you're worth, and you demand, quote unquote, that. I prefer the term command because it's not like you're beating people over the head with it, but you are carrying yourself in a way that will attract people who will respond to you accordingly. Um, and what you're commanding is, the value of what it is you're selling, basically, that it's it's a quality product or service and people will treat it as such. So putting this in an employment context, behave as if you're a valued employee. Know your worth, know your strengths, know what you're good at. Now, know your weaknesses too. That'll help keep you kind of honest and realistic about your expectations and help you improve so that you can command more. You can command a higher salary. You can command a better job, whatever the case may be. But know your worth. Don't allow yourself to be exploited. And even if you are taking like a lower paying position, treat it like it's a stepping stone. Don't be a jerk and burn bridges or whatever if you don't have to. But, yeah, just know your worth and know that you're constantly getting better and improving and, behave as such and you'll be treated as such and you will find opportunities opening up to you as time goes on. So in the dating context, especially to women, because little do a lot of women realize men do this to us. They flip the script. So traditionally it was us, behaving as if we have the most to offer, and we do because we give birth. We are the nurturers usually. Some relationships, the dynamics may be different, but typically we're the nurturers. We make a house a home. Even if you look at like research, men who are married live longer than men who are not because men kind of don't take care of themselves that well. They need I call it like a civilizing force. That's why I think guys who have sisters also kind of fare better. I have two brothers and, I'm, and in other, not just my own, situation, but others, it's kind of like, if you have women around you, your mom, your sisters, cousins, whatever, you have people that are kind of like polishing you and reminding you to kind of like keep yourself up in ways that men, just because they're kind of socialized and wired a little bit differently, because I believe a lot of what people are calling nature is really nurture. It's just been going on for so long that people think that men are just like that. And by that I mean, well, I won't get into that, but like some of the things, the boys will be boys thing, I think a lot of that is nurture, but I do recognize the role that testosterone plays, and like we're built differently, so like usually so guys are more inclined to be like more assertive, aggressive. I'm a huge believer in like masculine energy and feminine energy, and we all have varying amounts of it. So, in dating, being the prize, if you're a lady, I'll touch on men a little bit, but I don't believe men need that much help because, like I said, they have so flipped the script on us and it's not right. Anyway, if you're a lady, being the prize means, or conducting yourself as if you are the prize. Like, first of all, like work on yourself, obviously, like you be the best you that you can be. I say that in all my videos to everyone, but, assuming you're doing that, and even if you're not, everybody's valuable. Don't think that you're not valuable and deserve crap. Don't put out crap, but don't think that you deserve it either. But being the prize means having standards, as in, it's not just enough for a man to show up. There's this crazy sentiment that it's better to have a man versus it's better to have a man even if he's like a cheater, or if he's dirty, or if you're paying his bills for him, or whatever the case may be. If you have a bad relationship, that it's better to have a man versus not having a man, when that is completely untrue. So if you have a man and he is not an asset to you across the board, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You're better off single if a man is taking from you, dragging you down, whatever the case may be, making you worse off. So that, on that note, I'm going to say that being the prize means you have standards. A man needs to add value to your life in order for you to entertain a relationship with him. You should not be automatically willing and looking for a relationship with every man you meet. It's kind of not even a trial basis. It's a getting to know you kind of thing to see if you even qualify for a relationship, and it might not be the dude. It might be that you're not right for him, but rest assured that he's probably going to treat you like he's qualifying you first. And a lot of women are just kind of like, yeah, I'm looking for somebody to fill this space in my life. And, as long as we're going out on dates and we're hitting it off, then in my mind, we're hitting it off, then yeah, this is relationship material. You got to set your standards higher than that. Like a guy can take you out and you can have a good time. You can both have a good time with each other. And perhaps he's not relationship material to you because like we each should have our sets of standards. My standards probably aren't the same as a lot of people's, and yours probably aren't the same as mine, but like I have very specific things that I want and need and look for and appreciate in a guy, and you have your own set of things. Hopefully they're all good. So yeah, just like stick to your standards, have standards, but also um surround yourself with people who meet those standards or who are likely to meet those standards. A lot of women complain about like certain men are trash and they all do this and that. To me, that sounds like you just surround yourself with crappy people and need to expand your circle. Even if you are interested in like men of a certain demographic or whatever, there's a certain segment within every demographic that's trash or that has trash like characteristics in how they treat people. So like, it just sounds like you're around people who are into trashy behavior. And while I'm on that subject, you might need to look within because some people exhibit trashy behaviors themselves, but haven't done the self-evaluation and they wonder why they're attracting other people with trashy behavior. So, yeah, get all of that together and it's a work in progress, but have your standards, behave as if you're a person with standards. Don't even like pretend, like really adopt yourself some standards and stick to them and don't bend them for guys. And you will see men rise to the occasion. First, there will be those who pretend, or maybe not first, but you likely will encounter some who will pretend and then they'll fall by the wayside because they can't keep up the charade anymore. That's no loss. If you're looking for something longer term, that's no loss because you don't want them anyway. If you're just like dating for fun, then what do you care? You have fun with them. And I don't necessarily mean being promiscuous, but like socially, just going out, you're looking for somebody to go out with or whatever. You're having your fun. You're not getting too attached. And if he doesn't work out, fine, so be it. But then as you stick to those standards, the right guy will come along and he'll rise to those standards and maintain them and it'll work out, as long as you're also, being you or whatever, the best you, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. The little snippet I'm going to touch on for men, just to kind of be fair in this video. If you're a man, being the men are, I hate to break it to you, but men are not the prize. Now, there is a such thing as a good man, again, a man that's worth keeping, whatever, recognize that fully, but, I'll just stop there. So if you are a good man and you know it, again, like you've got to get rid of your own sort of trashy characteristics and then, okay, I'm a good guy, I deserve a good woman, whatever, fine. For you, I'm going to rephrase this a little bit and just say being a man of high value or high quality relationship material, let's call it. Conduct yourself as such. That means that you're not leading people on, like you're not, okay, so like, let's say you're that dude and you're worried about getting played. So, I mean, don't be a jerk, but also like, don't there's a I don't know if that's the phrase I want to use, but like don't put yourself in circumstances in which people tend to get played. Basically, look deep before you leap. So like you also, without being a jerk, because I don't believe in people putting women through tests and things like that. That's kind of childish. Like you should work on your perception instead, and like if a woman, if like, be reasonable and be smart about like women who fit the type of person that you want to be with long term, and if you that's what you're looking for, and those who don't, that means that you no longer go for like the low hanging fruit, so to speak, but you are kind of like, I'm not going to entertain, you are like, I'm not going to entertain that anymore. I am a guy that's of high value dating material, so therefore you should be looking for that type of woman. And again, like I said, for the ladies, you're putting yourself in those types of surroundings where you're more likely to find those people. You're doing your vetting, you're getting to know the woman first before you're like trying to, like draw her in deeper or whatever. And that is what it is. And honestly, like, you're not spreading yourself around thinly or cheaply, because guys can do that. Um, and that's what it is. Like, you're being a good man who's of high dating quality, or whatever I just called that. High quality relationship material. So that's being the prize in the dating context. How else can we be the prize? Friendships. Let's say that you are tired of your circle of friends. And this is something, no, this is something I did kind of learn. Well, I've definitely learned this. So, maybe you don't go for like the popular crowd anymore, but maybe like you really have to look for people with common values and common interests. And it means going to places where people are likely going to have those interests. It means getting to know people, because, people put on fronts all the time. It means, maybe you're not going out to the club all the time, but you're going to seminars or church or whatever it is you're into, and you want to meet like-minded people. Doesn't mean you can't go to the club, but like, if you do superficial things all the time, or if you are in places that tend to attract superficial people, or you're hanging with a superficial crowd, you're probably not going to grow if you want something much deeper than that. So it means adjusting your surroundings. Probably you're going to have to talk to some new people. You're going to have to talk to some people. Maybe to you, they might be a little bit more boring than you're accustomed to. Or maybe, I don't know, like, but you're going to find someone who is a compatible personality to yours, and you're going to find friends that are a better fit for you at this point. So yeah, that's it for this video. I am just gonna again, encourage you guys, be the prize. Don't be afraid to be the prize. Screw what anyone thinks. If they're saying you're being arrogant, unless you are an arrogant person, because that's also possible. But if you are, chances are you'll know, because you'll likely have a lot of problems, with, I don't know, if everybody your whole life has been telling you that, maybe consider that you might be. If you have trouble keeping friendships, maybe consider it could be you, but it might not be you. So yeah, just don't be too self-absorbed, and that should take care of that. Take an interest in other people from a caring standpoint, a giving standpoint, and don't be so self-absorbed and focused on yourself. And you should be fine. But also beware that some people might call you arrogant, as kind of like the Jedi mind trick, trying to trick you into lowering your standards. So be on the lookout for that too. If you're around people who don't have the same goals as yours, that's a good sign that people might, if they're calling you arrogant or whatever, then it's them and it's not you. And then that's why you need to surround yourself and go into these settings with people who also have lofty goals and vision and plans for themselves, and you will be happier, hopefully, and you'll do better in life. So that is it for this video. I'm going to see you again in the next one. Till then, take care and be well. Bye now.